with you usually.
Hi everybody! You're gonna hear random people's names called out because the poll box is right by my feed today, which is hilarious. I know. But you guys usually set up over there, which is interesting. All right. Figure it out. I always start with the marbles. How many do you guys say? You're doing pretty good. 7. I got way more. 3. Jenny's doing more and more every week.
She did more last week, actually.
I did. I
did still one of mine.
Last week.
Deaths. Okay. So I will start out with the Hunt for Wolverine title this week. This is the Adamantium Agenda, number 3. So this is a pretty good look at they're hunting down some fellow who's actually been or he's actually doing kind of like a big auction for what is purported to be Wolverine's DNA, but also in the last issue we found out that Jessica and Luke Cage's daughter's DNA is up on the block too, so we kind of start the book with that. So Luke and Jess are there to go kick butt and take names, and they do a very successful job. The problem is that the auction was taking place in I think a submarine under the sea, so it's kind of complicated in how you take down people that are in a submarine and not like kill everybody. So
no guns.
Really cool book.
Sure.
Look like this. Okay. And Amazing Spider-Man number 1. This is so huge. This is like the most giant book. This kind of is like Spider-Man 800 was, where it was like really, really thick. More than one story in it. It's kind of like a Marvel movie. When you get to the end of your storyline reading, go past the advertisements and read another storyline that's tied straight in, and then beyond that again. So you're gonna see, like they always have those nice spoilers in there. It's all spoilery and cool. This is trying to get Peter back to like kind of trying to be normal again. It's not gonna happen for a long time because remember, he's been blamed for a lot of stuff. But in this one, even more stuff goes down that's not necessarily like superhero problems, but real life problems. He has like pretty much everything that he's ever worked for is brought into question. That poor guy, I swear he cannot get a break.
He doesn't. Renew your vows.
Renew your vows. Thank goodness he has a good story this week.
He gets to be happy.
Happy man. All right. What you gonna do? Plastic Man?
I'm gonna do Plastic Man.
Plastic Man.
Number 2, because I'm loving this story so much. It's so great.
Gonna do more than that.
Oh,
so
man.
great isn't gonna do it.
I can't really say too much without giving it away, but
What happened last issue then?
the last issue was where it's basically starting from beginning, where he has just found out he's Plastic Man. And
what does that mean? What is his power other than being stretchy?
So like if he was, let's just say, shot by a gun, it just goes into him and then bounces out.
Oh, okay.
That's cool.
Like Gumby!
And he looks like super, I don't know, sassy, fun to hang out with. Is it true?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
for sure, he's hilarious. And Gail Simone, I love your writing so much.
Yeah, Simone, hearts.
Yes, hearts for her.
Keep writing.
And the artwork is great. The artwork is so great.
And this is part of the DC universe, so part of the main universe storylines.
It's a 6-issue miniseries, but I'm hoping for more after that.
Now, does it tie in at all to the Terrific storyline that he's in?
It does not.
Okay.
And I've read a little bit of that, so from what I can tell, it's its own thing. So
Cool. Jenny, you want to do one?
Sure.
What you want to do?
Little girl.
Little girl looks super creepy.
It is creepy.
Devils Do Comics. Pat Shand. I know Pat Shand. He's a great writer.
He is. He's a very good
And a cool dude.
Yes. So we have a young lady who I guess boyfriend, husband, out of town. I think there's affairs going on in both of them. But some creepy stuff starts happening and she starts to blame someone else who it may or may not be But it gets creepy. She starts seeing things. Other people may not be seeing these things.
Oh.
But she is not crazy. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, so is there a haunted house situation, or is it just...
I think it's more of a haunted person
Ooh, a
situation.
haunted person situation.
It could be the house, but it happens outside the house, so I really don't think it's the house.
It looks like... Is that a bathtub?
It is a bathtub.
Alright, creepy
It
girl
shows up
bathtub.
in water.
Ooh,
Like a hot tub and a bath. It's creepy.
So basically you can't go to the bathroom ever again after
No, it's creepy.
Okay.
I had to go wash my hands. Like, I don't know. Do I want to go in there?
Oh my gosh. Alright, a new series from IDW, Transformers Unicron. So I learned a lot reading the beginning of this book.
I thought it said unicorn.
That's what I thought too, and then I was like,
There's
oh wait,
nothing
no.
with one horn in here.
But
Unicron.
But like a Transformers unicorn would be amazing.
Yes. Okay, we can request that. We need Transformers and Unicorns
Yes,
next.
please.
Yes. But in this case, Unicron's another, it's like the diametrically opposed planet as the other one that Optimus Prime is from. Why did I just forget it?
I have.
Cybertron.
Yeah,
Cybertron.
that's it.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
I forgot completely.
So
And
this is,
then it turns into stuff, right?
yeah, so it kind of gives you a back history. It says which of the Transformers actually left Cybertron very early on, went back into prehistory for the Transformers. You get to hear that story. So it's really cool. If you want to learn a lot of Transformers back history, or even if you don't know anything about the Transformers at all, you could totally jump in here. It's amazing art. And it has a little sub-story at the end, like maybe 4 pages long, about another thing. So that was that. And I wanted to get you caught up on Coda. So this is a Boom title. Simon Spurrier writing.
Pretty.
So this is the one, the very first issue had like it looked like a big horse unicorn thing with like 5 horns. He had like fire coming out of his mouth. Yeah. So remember, the story was about a man who shows up, kind of a medieval looking place that he's hunting for his wife. He's been searching for his wife. And it's complicated because he's also been sent to be kind of the leader of the place, and no one really likes that. So, hey, I see some McMeanses. And so the reason why you might not have this book is because the first issue sold out really, really quickly, but you can totally find it in its next print now. So please go pick it up. It's amazing, and the art's going to blow your mind, and the creatures themselves
It's so
are not to be missed. You get to see even more kind of creatures. You get to see some crosses and double crosses, and then you get to find out about his wife now,
Oh, good.
which you will never see coming. It's like one of those last page reveals. You're like, what the what?
When we were checking them off, I was like, I want to see the art because it's my favorite thing to look at.
Oh yeah,
It's so pretty.
you have to read that.
I know.
You might have to read number 2 so you don't get lost, but
Well, we kept selling out was the problem.
I know. I'm trying to keep it in here.
I bet everybody
What'd you feel like?
I really love. This is probably my favorite one of the week. Hawkman.
The
Number
alternate
2.
cover to this one's amazing.
Yes.
Is it over here somewhere?
Yeah.
It's-
Grab it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Alternate cover.
Are you trying to do bunny ears on?
No, I was trying to do sparkly hands.
Oh, sparkly. Fingers.
If you know me, you know how much I love ancient Egypt. Well, we go back in time, I guess. Like he is the first issue trying to figure out all of his different past lives and why he can't remember anything. But he remembers glimpses of them in the first issue. Well, so now he's trying to figure out more about it. And it's so good. If you're reading Hawkman, this is the part where this is like where it's starting to take off into, like the first issue. I know it had a big, huge, important thing that I don't want to say just because if you haven't picked up Hawkman and you can still find it, definitely pick it up. This one has more of his his history, and I love history.
So you can totally, if you don't know anything about Hawkman at all, this series
Oh,
you can jump
yeah.
in and totally
Yeah.
get there. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, Sarah, you
So
want to
good.
give your off-screen review?
I'll hold it up.
So She Could Fly is
Wait, yes. From
from Dark Horse.
Dark Horse. It's a burger book.
It's a burger book.
It is a Dark Horse book. It is about a young woman who is in high school, and
Her name is Luna. I
her name
also
is
read it.
Luna. It's if you are a fan of things like kid lobotomy, or something that's like creepy to that nature, you would love that book. So it's never mentioned in the book, but I think that she has schizophrenia.
There's a little page about it in the back. So,
Okay.
it's what they call
She has some
pure
mental disease.
OCD.
So she has some mental disease. And in this world, there is a woman who can fly, and in her area,
That's
That
what she's
is-
reaching towards.
that is being seen constantly throughout the last month or so. That's the main premise of the book. I'm not sure where they're gonna go with it, but it definitely takes you along for a ride. It's definitely
so
not for
good.
kids. But if you like things like kid lobotomy or other books that are of that nature, you'd love it.
It's a little bit psychological.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, it's good to know because the cover looks very,
Kid-like.
So it's good to know that it's more.
Definitely not
Yeah, no,
For
it
kids.
is definitely
There's-
not for kids.
quite a bit of
It's
violence depicted in the book.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily.
It's the kind of book that kind of messes
It's-
with your head.
Yeah, it messes totally with your head. You don't know what's
Oh.
reality.
Yeah, you don't know
Until
what's actually happening or
later.
what.
It sounds like Unsound, one of my favorite books.
Yes, very much like Unsound, and I couldn't remember the name of it. But yeah, that's it.
I think that's Kalimba.
Yeah, so that's
Messing with us
She
with
Could
conservatives.
Fly.
You took Outpost.
I took Outpost Zero. You should read it afterwards. You will like it.
I read the little blurb on the back, and I was like, yes, I will love this one.
I think I'm going to get just 2, and I think we'll be pretty even across the front. Okay. Outpost Zero, Image Skybound. The other one that's going to make you crazy this week. Oh, goodness.
I'll hold it.
Yeah. All right, so it's a really awesome story. By the way, on really great paper stock.
Yes.
So if you have a textile thing, you will be so happy about this book. So essentially, it's about a group of, most of them are young people. So it looks very clearly that they were supposed to go in this dome city. It was supposed to go to a new place for humanity to thrive and to spread. They never mention anything about original Earth. Actually, they don't even. The inference is that from Earth, and maybe it's not true at all. But their dome got thrown down on wherever they are, which is full of ice and snow. And so everyone has very clear roles there. One of the characters, mom and dad, have been lost. They were killed in some terrible incident that came along. And so most everybody, as early as 14, you get kind of given an aptitude test to find out what you're best at doing. And if you just kind of a general aptitude, then you get put wherever for a role. But there's no chance for kind of, like everyone needs to do something important because there's only so many people and they're all in this dome and everything that happens in the dome has to keep them alive. So, it's really important if you're an engineer because you're going to be the future people that keep everybody in the dome alive.
Yeah.
So what you see on the cover is a big, gigantic, I forget what they call it. It's called a cell, that's right, it's called a cell. So they realized that a cell was headed toward their thing, and the last cell that came through just about killed everybody in the dome. So this is the craziness that they're experiencing, plus they're teenagers and all the awkward teenager things that go along.
Both that you read in junior high that has all the side jobs. I don't know.
Oh yeah, but it's not. In this case, it is not a bad thing. The whole idea. They're not approaching it from a place of like, oh, this is horrible. It's just kind of like everyone's resigned to the fact and happy about like that they can be useful. Cool. At least so far this series, I didn't get the feeling that it was any other way. All right, this is a hot book. This is already pre-sold out at the distributor level, so do not hesitate and run to your local comic shop and grab one. So this is Relay by Aftershock. So written by Zach Thompson, story by Donnie Cates and Zach, and Andy Clark art. And this is also Andy Clark's art on the cover. So that's Andy Clark.
It's so pretty.
This one is so cool. So the setup is that, and you cannot tell whether this world that they're on is original Earth or just a place, but there is a giant monolith that everyone has religious fervor for that has been placed there. They mentioned about when it arrived and how they addressed it, and it's called the Galactic Relay. Hence the name of the book, Relay. And it has messages that it wants to be conveyed. Most of them are very positive, help each other, whatever's. And if you're people that are like true believers, they'll chant an edict at the end of everything they say, which is "Find Donaldson's world." The thing is that no one really knows where Donaldson's world is. They don't know who he is. He is the godlike figure that is part of all these societies. You can't depict Donaldson. No one really knows what he looks like, but if you try to draw him, that it's seen as not cool, kind of like you're not supposed to draw Muhammad. So yeah, so that's sacrilegious. And so there's one of the main characters, actually one of the kind of a police kind of character who he's in charge of. If he sees you like spray painting an image of Donaldson up, he'll have to take it down, and you get in trouble. It doesn't look like it's a capital offense, at least, but it's really super trippy. It's like, is it real? There's people that. Like in every religion, there's people that ignore it, and people are more fervent about it, etc. And if you can still find it, ask your shop. If they have Relay Zero, it was a free comic book day book. It has a little bit more background that'll kind of get you even more information. You can probably read it after you read this book, actually. I don't think you're fine either way. But the question remains, does Donaldson exist, and where is his world, and what does it mean if you find him? Cannot recommend it more. What you want to do next?
Vitamin water.
Yes. Not even sponsored by Vitamin Water, said his cases.
No, I just like vitamin water.
It's true.
You can make noise. We're all making noise. You don't have to tiptoe.
Noise.
Alexis, we missed you. Right, what's next? X23. Schnick, schnick. Swoosh.
Just remember their name.
That's the study cover.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Okay, it's a pretty cover. It's a pretty cover. So, we have daughter. She has genetic mutation, and they are trying to get back some stuff that was. Some information that was stolen, I guess. But in the process, they get in a fight with a guy who they quote looks like an angry pecan, or maybe it was something that looked like an angry pistachio. That's it. Looks like an angry pistachio.
That's even better.
He's green, but throws a truck on her. She's okay. She's like, I feel like a pretzel, not like eating a pretzel. Well, maybe I do want to eat a pretzel. So after you read this book, you're going to want to eat a pretzel.
And pistachios.
Yes, right now, I really want a pretzel. There's some clones, interesting twist at the end. There's some birthdays. Clones?
Multiple?
Well, yeah, they're clones, so there's a lot.
Well, we know she's a clone, but I mean...
Yeah, well, there's like... They're not quite as human as she is. I mean,
she's barely human. Holy cow.
Well, then they are like not human at all. But they came off Emma Frost. I think they chose their birthday that they were celebrating off a TV actor.
Okay.
But it's a very interesting book. Really good. Highly recommended. Sorry I couldn't explain it better.
That's
you get the gist, so...
That's a great explanation.
Okay,
cool. People want to go read it.
You want to read it.
Yeah. Especially the part of
eat food.
Get you a pretzel before you read it.
little mini one.
Well,
A mini
it's
one
the
or a
big
one?
chewy one, but I think a mini one
Oh,
would
like the
suffice.
ball ones?
Yeah, I think a
Pretzels.
mini one
Auntie
would
Anne's.
suffice.
Everything
Or
was
like
on the
a
past there.
pretzel stick, maybe. Like the ones you get at I don't know. Just get a pretzel, man.
Alright, I'll just go to
Bring me a
Sam's
pretzel.
after this. And
My challenge to you all is go find some of those big pretzel sticks and then like put them in your fingers like Laura. Send a picture to Marvel.
You know, find me a pretzel. Someone find me a pretzel.
Oh yeah.
I love you guys.
Let's make that an internet thing tomorrow.
What?
Dumb memes with pretzel.
Pretzels, yeah.
Pretzels.
Hashtag Jenny wants a pretzel.
Hashtag J with pretzel.
Flash war. Part four.
Flash.
And vitamins.
Flash number 50. The Fury of the Speed Force. That is, no, it's that one. Yeah.
I knew what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Here's the alternate cover for that gorgeous
That's all
book.
we have left, by the way.
Well, goodness. Oh. I put it in the wrong
So,
spot.
the paper on this one is really, really nice. It's so soft and not like,
It's like, made
it's
of
like,
kittens.
no, it's like the,
I actually heard
Nice
other
paper.
retailers talking about the paper
yeah,
change.
it's
that
a
they like
nice,
it.
I love it so much. We'll see how my allergy reacts, but so far so good. Because it's gotta be,
Does it
I
have
don't
to
know.
be?
It's gotta be something in it.
Trees.
Anyway, back to the story. So, last we saw, Zoom is now a Flash. What?
What?
He's right there on the cover. That's Zoom.
Okay.
He's Flash now.
So you just change clothes colors and he gets to be a Flash? Alright.
Of course, as you can see on the cover, they're still fighting him in this issue. If you read the last one, you saw all of the, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just insanity. Because basically he told Wally that in order to save his kids and his family, the rest of the Flash family, that they have to break the Speed Force. That was a lie, as we saw in the last issue.
Yeah.
And now they're having to deal with that. And
So now the Speed Force is broken?
That's a question I have.
Wait,
Or
does
is it
that
just
mean
for-
there was
it's-
never a Speed Force?
so,
Is it in a cast for 6 weeks now?
just
Yellow
you
one.
just need to read it. If you're reading Flash, if you want to read Flash, I recommend starting with the not the Flash War story arc, but the story arc right before that, because that'll catch you up on why Wally needs to find his family and why he was gone and all that.
Is that the Grodd storyline?
The one, well, it was the Grodd was the tail end of
The
that.
tail end, okay.
Yeah, because it didn't start out as having Grodd in it, but like part 3 is when he shows up, I think.
Okay.
Three or
That's
four.
the storyline arc, though.
Okay. Correct.
All right, Stabby Bunny number 6. This is what you've all been waiting for. You want to see him go full bunny? Yes, you do. So it's been very clear that there's two families that are at war with each other. They use magic, and they're very, very bad people, especially the one family that's always trying to get her. So the little girl owns Stabby Bunny, or that's her plush animal at least, and she has her own powers, but it's over nature things. But they call Stabby Bunny's name in this one, which I don't think she's ever done necessarily. She's called him specifically for protection. And he is totally bigger and badder than you can possibly imagine. Of course, it's all in shadow, just like always. Now, eventually we're going to get a second series out of this called Shadow Play, which is a lot more about the characters that are in it and less about Stabby. So, just so you know, that exists. So,
Can't wait.
don't miss Stabby, for a lack of a better term, Hulk out in this one. Wait till you see what he does, man. You just go,
Man!
No, it's in the shadows, so we wouldn't
It's in
know.
shadows. We'll assume
I
not
think it's
green. Since he's a white bunny. I don't know.
Yeah. No, that would not be a good look for him.
I think it'd be fun.
Oh,
Wanna do-
Pistachio Man smells like a Band-Aid. I forgot that.
Smells like a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
Is this a comedy book?
Kinda.
Right.
She was laughing for a lot of it.
Okay.
Oh goodness. I'm gonna do this one. So, in the last book, they said, goodness. The baddie was saying to, I want to say it was Cassandra, that you make him weaker. Meaning that all of the Robins, all of his, basically the Bat family is making Batman weaker.
That's not true.
So now we see some more of, well, and you see Black Lightning. He's right there. He's in this one too, because he was in the last one, but now they're together. And so now he's kind of been put in charge of all the kids, which he's a teacher, so it works really well for him.
Perfect role.
Right? He's really not happy with Batman about, you know, having all of these kids. Like, they should be in school, they should be, you know, having normal childhoods, they shouldn't be fighting all of these bad guys.
Bad guy daycare.
Yeah, right? Of course, Alfred's totally on his side. He's like, I know, I've been saying this for years.
Yeah.
Now I have someone else to talk to about it. But there's funny parts in this book, and then there's some like heart-wrenching, well, not really as much heart-wrenching, but
The heavy parts.
heavy parts that are a little bit, they give you a little bit of adrenaline, so yes. Because who doesn't love adrenaline in comics, right?
This
Not
is
so
true.
much.
All right, I've been waiting for this for a long time. This is
Yes.
It came out on a Wednesday by Alternate Comics, so it's a whole $2 for this giant book. But it's got some ongoing series in it. So it's Wicked Righteous. It has a chapter of that. It's actually a prequel chapter, so you can kind of find out how it started. Mr. Cribb's story, where you get to see more of his rat, who's going to have his own book coming soon. It's a kid's book. And then Blood Fist, which is hilarious because it's essentially a giant like guy with a Santa beard and blood all over his fists. So, and then there's a bunch of short stories that were the winners of the short story contest. So it's an anthology that's really, really good. My favorite of the short story originals is the very first one, actually, that is kind of, for lack of a better term, an in-space sci-fi story involving aliens, humans, and a cricket game. Pay attention to what they have on their shirts.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. Right, you want to wrap? You doing your wrap?
I want to end with the rap.
Oh, you want to end with the wrap? She's bringing it home. Okay.
What?
She's trying to mic drop it. A mic for you, though.
I need a fake mic just like you like that every week.
The one everybody's been waiting on, right? Superman #1 with Bendis and the new team, and it's awesome. I don't want to say too much about it. I felt a little bit lost at the beginning because I did not read Man of Steel, because you read that one.
Sorry, man.
I was too slow that day, I think. Or maybe I came later to read. But it's so good. So it is one you don't want to miss. I can't really say too much about the story other than obviously, you know, Superman's back on, you know, he's back on desk duty at the Daily Planet. He's been writing some stories. He's trying to write a story, but
Like a whole book.
no, like for an article, but like a bigger than just like
a front page article.
like a front,
like a
basically
really
a front page article. There's some flashbacks in this book that I don't think we've seen before, and I will say if you read any of the other DC books before you read this one, you'll see something on the last. There's on every DC. There's the last page. It's about the Fortress of Solitude. He's getting a new one. So.
New Fortress of Solitude sounds cool. So I'm distracted. I'm trying to figure out what everyone's doing.
I'm a little distracted too. I need like blinders.
All right.
So you sure that's all last week? Sarah?
Huh?
You sure that's all last week?
Yeah. I double checked.
Thank you.
I know how to do that.
I know you do.
I want to.
It's a double check.
Just
No, you didn't.
No.
I'm gonna get my first negative review.
No!
Ever, probably ever.
I love the Tempest.
Sorry, I am not English enough to understand this book, Ellen Moore. I don't know what I read at all. Someone come by all the copies and tell me how wrong I am. So this is the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. We've been waiting for them to do more books. It's called The Tempest. I don't know what I read. Seriously, I don't know. It has some pages that are normal pages and some that are sideways pages, and they're in black and white. I don't know what time period I'm in. There's a bunch of naked ladies.
Wait, I
Hey.
got this. You read The Tempest.
Yes. That's right. So
That's about all we know.
So maybe it's completely based on the ancient The Tempest, and I'm dumb. But please help me. Alan, call me and yell at me in the accent. I'm ready for the yelling at me. Go ahead. Would you like that pile of books, ma'am? You can just stand up. No one can see you.
Yeah, you're not even close to being in
You have to
camera.
come all the way
Don't
over
be in
here
the
to be in the shot.
You have to be like right in front of me over here.
Sarah very much does not ever want to be in the shot.
You get used to it.
Okay, so everyone can just yell at me tomorrow about why I'm dumb and I should understand Alan Moore's stuff better. But I just don't.
You don't get it?
Nope.
I don't think they give me
It
friends.
just
anymore.
goes over your head.
You read, you tell me that you get it, and then I'll be like, I'm just dumb today.
Maybe I ordered it, but I don't know.
Totally dumb, that's me.
All right, who's next?
You, and
Me?
then it's me, and then it's Jenny.
This one is so cute. It's from Kaboom. It's called Ruin World by Derek Laufman, or Laufman, I guess is the American pronunciation.
It's so fluffy!
It's so fluffy.
I'm gonna die.
So, okay,
There's
if
a
you like
unicorn.
D&D,
Oh, yeah.
World of Warcraft, any RPGs, and all ages appropriate, pick up this book. I felt like I was totally in a campaign. It was so cute.
Is that the main
So
character of the fox?
these are the two main characters. It's not actually a fox, but they haven't really said what he is yet. But he's not a fox. He's half cat and half something else. I can't remember what it is. But I cheated and looked at the. There's always an interview about the number ones in Boom at the back of any Boom book. So I cheated, but
Cheater.
just because I know I probably won't get to read the next one, but
It's so sad.
I'll totally pick it up as a trade later on if I don't get to. I have so many books to read. So, and then this is Pogo, the pig,
I
and
like that name.
oh my gosh, he's a mess. He wants so hard to be an adventurer, but he does not have the skills at all. Obviously you can see they're fighting a tentacle monster.
Yeah.
And he knows what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing. It's a pretty complex story, but not too complex. Like, there's just a lot of different parts to the story. And I don't want to say anything because I want you guys to come pick this book up and read it because it's so good. And there's 2 different covers. This is one cover, and then the other cover is also really awesome.
No, that was on my
It's like
head,
a virgin
right?
cover, right?
I think
It's
so.
like blue background.
Yeah, with like a blue
And
background.
hang it over the. There you go.
Yeah.
You know what that puts in my head, right? We need a tentacle kitty in our campaign.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Jenny and I play in a group on once a month on Saturdays, and
We need a tentacle kitty.
how many people have pets now except for the 2 of us?
Doesn't matter.
And I think there's like 3 of us that don't have any
Right.
companion animals. So
Right. There's nothing
Definitely.
more boring than being in a campaign than talking about a campaign that someone else is in and you're not in yourself.
Any campaign would be good to
I
have
mean,
a
I
tentacle
think
kitty.
that the audience of Critical Role would disagree
Yeah.
with you on that.
Listening about someone else's campaign when you're not playing it.
I'm saying any campaign could use a tentacle kitty.
Oh,
Any
definitely.
Oh,
campaign.
okay. That makes sense. I will tell you, as being a person who is not currently a campaign, when people start telling me about their campaign in detail, the most boring thing ever. Because I'm not in the
All right.
campaign and I don't know who those
All
people are. Okay, just telling
all the things.
you. Just telling you.
Yeah.
Just words of the wise, friends that I love, they're in D&D.
What's this one? 'Cause this
Enjoy
one's-
your campaign.
I
but
want to
don't
hear
tell
about
me.
this one.
All right. And by the way, inside information about Boom. Both of the heads of Boom, Ross Ritchie and Philip Sidleek, are huge D&D nerds, just like me. By the way, I'm not down. I love D&D. I'm just telling you, as a person on the outside, if I
doesn't
ever
have
start telling
time
you about something
to
that I'm doing in D&D, just tell me to shut up, because you don't care. You care what's going on in your campaign, right?
Any campaign,
You
man.
can tell me about what your character is. Half something else. Great. That's it.
Half me, half me.
Boy. So much DD, man. Alright, so Robert Kirkman does something amazingly sneaky and amazingly awesome this week. So he somehow managed to keep an entire comic book under wraps with no leaks until this morning. And the only reason we knew about it this morning is because our friends across the pond in England, thank you Rob Pontefract at Forbidden Planet for telling us to expect it when we opened up our boxes. So in boxes this week was this really cool comic book that he threw in and said, hey, here's some comp copies of this crazy book. No one had seen the cover of it, no one knew what it was about, it just the world set on fire. Because he wanted very desperately, and you can see it in the end of the book, read the love letter to retailers, that he wanted people's first experience and love with a book is by walking into a comic book shop and experiencing a book they didn't know existed before. So, okay, it's going to be ruined by maybe 12 hours because we found out about them existing, but he remembers as a kid that there wasn't any news about comic books, and you didn't have like a newsletter necessarily that came to your house. You just walked in to look at the racks of the little comic shop, and what was there was the first time you were seeing it. You didn't know what was going to happen in Superman, etc. You just picked up that week's Superman and you enjoyed it. So that was the idea behind this book. So this is exactly as advertised on the front. The name of the book is Die, Die, Die. I could say it louder, but I probably should. So it says blood-soaked, bullet-riddled, ultra-violent mayhem from Skybound. So if John Wick was too tame for you, this is your book. So basic storyline is full of political intrigue and full of assassins. So the assassins may or may not work for and with people in the government. No, this is not Hillary Clinton. Everyone thinks it's Hillary Clinton down here at the bottom. It's not.
Are you sure?
Now she may be
No, it's
allegorical, but no, it is not her. Just at least that's something they can name or give her in the book. But it's full of really cool fighting, blood.
Yeah, I think
people
it's
lose
just a little
body
bit bloody.
parts.
Do people die?
A lot's dying.
Do they die?
But the cool thing is that you get down to the end of the book and there's a twist that is really, really cool. That there are some of the people involved in the book that are actually related in a very cool way. So I'll let you see that at the end of the book. So don't miss this book at all. Now, be patient with the retailer near you because they got an X amount of copies of this book. They didn't know about the book ahead of time to order it. However, they price it or give it away as their business. Those are their books to do what they want to with, okay? So don't give them a hard time. But I will tell you that out of the 10 copies that we got, every single one's different. So like this one's a lack of a better term, a virgin copy. It doesn't have any name, no bubbles on it. There are ones that do have speech bubbles. Every speech bubble's different.
There's one that has 3 speech bubbles.
Yeah. So what I understand is there's 11 different versions of this. Until I see more than 10 copies of it, I can't tell you if it's true. So be sweet to your local retailer. They will get more copies for you as soon as they possibly can, if they can. But don't miss the book. The book is awesome. Don't let all the hype about the different covers dissuade you from hunting one of these puppies down. They will be existing in the market, so don't worry about that. But yeah, really, really awesome. Thank you, Kirkman and Company for giving us this really cool thing.
We have one more really cool thing.
Yeah, we do. Been waiting a long time for this.
Here, Jenny.
Cheating.
Well,
It's not even cheating at this point. This point's just me.
this is one of the connected covers of Farmhand, by the way. This is not the main cover.
No, it's not. I think I'm fine.
It's okay.
Okay. I'm gonna rap about Farmhand this week. I really did love this one. It was truly a treat. It starts out with what seems to be a dream, but at this point we really don't know what it means. The family is going to visit Grandpa on the farm. What they don't know is they grow things like arms. The head says keep your hands off everything. If it looks expensive, don't touch it. But the stuff on this farm, man, if I just saw it, I'd get sick. They go on a tour, but the hay is not real. But still, the VR headset have an appeal. It's some kind of stem cell research going on. The science is really thebomb.com. It's already pretty trippy. You can count on that. And Grandpa says don't forget to come back. It really was an interesting read. I will read the next one indeed.
Ah, cool. That's a good review.
Thank you.
The only thing I can add is that the body parts that they're growing, the reason that they're so cool is that they do not become rejected by bodies. So they're all perfectly acceptable to all bodies, so that whatever you grow is good.
Shove it on.
And it's got really cool. So the art style that's in like Stabby Bunny is kind of similar.
Okay.
So Rob Guillory, awesome. We've been waiting for this for a while. So if you are a fan of Chew, which is his other big book,
Oh yeah.
jump on in. You will be not disappointed at all.
I love Chew.
It's a good book.
There's plenty of other good stuff like Incredibles 2, Disney Pixar #1 from Dark Horse is also out this week, and there's some good trade paperbacks as well.
New Archie book out this
New Archie
week.
books. So go find these awesome books at the comic shop near you, whether you're traveling or your home store, comicshoplocator.com if you're away from the house. And yeah, tune in next week where us crazy people find new ways to review things. I'm sorry that I had my first negative review. I feel really weird right now. Like something's not right in the world. All right, everybody. All right, see you all. Bye.